Imagine walking into your home and feeling instant peace instead of overwhelming chaos. While Marie Kondo revolutionized decluttering with her spark joy philosophy, there's more to the art of organization than just asking if items make you happy. Studies show that cluttered spaces increase cortisol levels by 40%, directly impacting our mental health, productivity, and relationships. This guide reveals 25 game-changing do's and don'ts that go beyond the basic spark joy method. And I know that we are all guilty with number 22 in the list. Whether you're drowning in inherited items, struggling with sentimental clutter, or simply seeking a fresh start, these proven principles will transform not just your space, but your entire approach to living with less. 1. Start with a clear vision of your end goal. The foundation of successful decluttering lies in visualization, a powerful psychological tool that shapes our actions and decisions. Research from the Journal of Environmental Psychology has revealed that individuals who clearly envision their ideal space are 63% more likely to maintain an organized environment long term. This fascinating correlation between mental preparation and physical results demonstrates why visualization isn't just a new age concept, but a scientifically backed strategy for success. Consider the case of Sarah, a creative professional who transformed her chaotic home office into a productivity sanctuary. She began by creating a detailed mental picture of her ideal workspace, considering not just the physical arrangement, but the emotional atmosphere she wanted to cultivate. This clear vision guided every decision she made during the decluttering process, from selecting which art supplies to keep to determining the optimal desk placement for natural light. The process of visualization involves engaging all your senses, imagining not just how your space will look, but how it will feel, sound, and function. This multi-sensory approach creates a stronger emotional connection to your goal, making you more likely to follow through with the necessary changes. 2. Don't try to organize everything in one day. The temptation to transform your entire living space in a single marathon session is understandable but fundamentally flawed. This approach overlooks a crucial aspect of human psychology: decision fatigue. Studies conducted by the National Association of Professional Organizers have found that 85% of abandoned organizing projects were attempted as single-day transformations. This statistic reveals a common pattern of overambition leading to burnout. The human brain's capacity for decision-making is similar to a muscle that becomes fatigued with overuse. Neuroscientists have observed that after making numerous decisions in succession, our brain's ability to make rational choices significantly diminishes. This phenomenon explains why judges are more likely to make favorable decisions in the morning, and why major retailers strategically place their clearance sections near store entrances. When applied to decluttering, this understanding suggests breaking down the process into smaller, manageable sessions of 2 to 3 hours maximum. This approach aligns with the Japanese concept of kaizen, continuous improvement through small, intentional steps. Professional organizers have observed that clients who adopt this measured approach report higher satisfaction with their results and maintain their organized spaces for longer periods. 3. Set realistic timeframes for each decluttering project. Understanding the true time requirements for decluttering projects can be the difference between success and frustration. Time management experts have consistently found that most people underestimate task duration by 25 to 40%, a phenomenon known as the planning fallacy. This cognitive bias leads to unrealistic expectations and unnecessary stress. Different spaces within your home require varying time investments based on their complexity and emotional significance. Research has shown that rooms containing sentimental items typically require 2.5 times longer to declutter than utility spaces. This time difference reflects the additional emotional processing required when sorting through meaningful possessions. 4. Don't start multiple areas simultaneously. The science behind effective decluttering strongly advocates for a focused, single-area approach. Neuroscience research has consistently demonstrated that multitasking reduces productivity by up to 40%, a finding that directly applies to organizational projects. When people attempt to declutter multiple spaces simultaneously, they often fall victim to what professional organizers call clutter migration, a phenomenon where items simply shuffle between unfinished areas without any real progress being made. This scattered approach creates additional chaos and can lead to increased stress levels and decreased motivation. Consider the experience of Michael, a software developer who initially attempted to organize his garage, basement, and home office simultaneously. He found himself overwhelmed by the sheer number of decisions required and the constant movement of items between spaces. After consulting with a professional organizer, he switched to a focused approach, completing one area before moving to the next. This methodical strategy allowed him to maintain better mental clarity and make more consistent decisions about his possessions. 5. Do. Create a detailed plan of action for each space. Professional organizers have discovered through extensive field research that spaces with detailed organization plans are 76% more likely to remain organized after 6 months. This striking statistic underscores the importance of thorough preparation in creating lasting change. A comprehensive plan serves as your roadmap through the decluttering process, helping you navigate challenges and maintain focus on your end goals. The planning phase should encompass more than just basic sorting strategies. It requires a deep understanding of how you use each space and what you want to achieve within it. Interior designers and organization experts recommend analyzing traffic patterns, lighting conditions, and activity zones within each room. This detailed analysis helps create functional spaces that support your daily routines and enhance your quality of life. The military's 5P principle, proper planning prevents poor performance, applies perfectly to the decluttering process, as thorough preparation eliminates many common obstacles before they arise. 6. Don't skip the planning phase, thinking it wastes time. The misconception that planning wastes valuable decluttering time has led many people to dive headfirst into projects without proper preparation, often with disappointing results. A groundbreaking study of home renovation and organization projects revealed that for every hour spent planning, approximately 3 hours of implementation time is saved. This planning paradox demonstrates how initial preparation actually accelerates the overall process and leads to more sustainable results. Professional chefs employ a similar principle called mise en place, everything in its place, before beginning to cook. This preparation might seem time-consuming, but it creates a smoother, more efficient process that ultimately saves time and reduces stress. When applied to decluttering, proper planning prevents common pitfalls, such as creating systems that don't match your lifestyle or having to reorganize spaces multiple times due to poor initial execution. 7. Do take before photos to track progress. The psychological impact of visual documentation in decluttering projects cannot be overstated. Studies in behavioral change have revealed that people who document their progress are 42% more likely to achieve their goals, a finding that has profound implications for home organization. The practice of taking before photos serves multiple psychological functions that contribute to successful decluttering. When we look at our spaces daily, we become desensitized to the gradual accumulation of clutter, a phenomenon psychologists call clutter blindness. Before photos provide an objective record that helps break through this perceptual barrier. Professional organizers have observed that clients who initially resist taking before photos often experience powerful moments of clarity when viewing these images, as the camera's lens offers a more detached and honest perspective of their space. The documentation process also creates what psychologists call implementation intention, a concrete commitment to change that strengthens motivation and follow-through. 8. Don't begin without proper supplies and tools. The seemingly simple act of gathering appropriate supplies before beginning a decluttering project can significantly impact its success rate. Organizational experts estimate that 30% of decluttering sessions are derailed by lack of proper supplies, leading to frustration and abandoned projects. This statistic reveals a crucial aspect of successful organization: the importance of preparation and proper tools. Professional organizers often draw parallels between decluttering and cooking. Just as a chef wouldn't begin preparing a complex meal without all necessary ingredients and utensils at hand, attempting to organize without proper supplies can lead to inefficiency and poor results. The concept of tool readiness extends beyond just having sorting boxes and garbage bags. It encompasses having the right cleaning supplies, proper storage solutions, and documentation materials readily available. This preparation prevents the common scenario of having to pause mid-project to acquire necessary items, which can break momentum and reduce motivation. 9. Do establish sorting categories. Anthropological studies of human organization patterns have revealed fascinating insights into how we naturally categorize and sort our possessions. Research shows that successful sorting systems typically employ no more than 5 to 7 main categories, aligning with cognitive research on the brain's ability to process and maintain distinct categories effectively. This finding has profound implications for decluttering methodology. When people attempt to create too many sorting categories, they often experience decision paralysis, leading to slower progress and increased stress. Professional organizers have observed that simple, clear categorization systems lead to faster decision making and more consistent results. The process of categorization also helps reveal patterns in our consumption and storage habits, providing valuable insights that can prevent future clutter accumulation. 10. Don't make exceptions for items just in case. The psychology behind keeping items just in case reveals fascinating insights into human decision making and risk assessment. Research in consumer psychology shows that this mindset often stems from scarcity thinking rather than actual need. A comprehensive study of 1,000 households discovered that 80% of items kept just in case were never used within a 5-year period, representing significant wasted space and resources. This tendency to hold on to items for potential future use often masks deeper emotional attachments or anxieties about scarcity. Understanding the true cost of storing these items requires considering not just physical space, but also the mental energy expended in maintaining and organizing them. Professional organizers have found that clients who successfully overcome the just-in-case mindset often report feeling lighter and more in control of their spaces. 11. Do adopt a minimalist mindset when evaluating items. The adoption of a minimalist mindset represents a fundamental shift in how we perceive value and interact with our possessions. Research in cognitive psychology has revealed that this shift does more than just reduce physical clutter. It creates measurable changes in brain function and stress levels. Studies conducted at major universities have shown that people who embrace minimalist principles experience a 40% reduction in stress-related cortisol levels when in their home environment. This physiological change translates into improved mental clarity, better decision-making abilities, and enhanced overall well-being. The Japanese concept of the significance of negative space, provides valuable insight into how minimalism affects our perception of space and value. Just as museums display their most precious artifacts with ample space around them to enhance appreciation, creating breathing room in our living spaces allows us to better value and utilize our chosen possessions. 12. Don't feel guilty about letting go of gifts. The psychology of gift giving and receiving reveals an intriguing paradox that directly impacts our ability to declutter effectively. Research into gift-giving behavior has shown that while givers often attach significant emotional value to the physical gift, receivers primarily value the thought and intention behind it. This disconnect creates what psychologists term obligation clutter, items kept not out of genuine desire or need, but from a sense of duty or guilt. Studies indicate that 61% of people keep unwanted gifts out of guilt, creating a psychological burden that affects both their physical space and mental well-being. Professional organizers have observed that clients who successfully overcome gift-related guilt often develop stronger, more authentic relationships with gift givers by focusing on the emotional connection rather than the physical object. The environmental impact of keeping unwanted gifts adds another dimension to this issue, as these items often end up in landfills years later, when they could have been donated and used by someone who truly needed them. 13. Do question every item's purpose and value. The process of questioning each item's purpose and value draws from organizational anthropology, which has identified fascinating patterns in how different cultures approach possession and organization. The Quakers' traditional practice of asking, "Does this item speak to my condition?" provides a powerful framework for modern decluttering decisions. This questioning process goes beyond simple utility to examine how objects contribute to or detract from our life goals and values. Professional organizers have developed the concept of utility density, the ratio of an item's usefulness to its physical and mental footprint. This metric helps evaluate not just how often an item is used, but how effectively it serves its purpose and whether it adds genuine value to daily life. 14. Don't hold on to items out of obligation. Psychological research into obligation clutter reveals a fascinating connection between physical possessions and emotional well-being. Studies have documented what researchers call environmental stress, a subtle but constant drain on mental energy caused by items kept out of obligation rather than desire or utility. Anthropologists have termed this phenomenon negative emotional weight, observing how spaces filled with obligatory items often feel heavier and less welcoming. The concept of sunk cost fallacy plays a significant role in this behavior, as people often justify keeping items because they've already invested time, money, or emotional energy in maintaining them. Breaking free from obligation clutter requires understanding that past investments shouldn't dictate future choices. 15. Do focus on one category at a time. The science behind category-based organization reveals why this approach proves significantly more effective than organizing by location. Cognitive research demonstrates that our brains process information more efficiently when dealing with similar items simultaneously, leading to better comparison abilities and more consistent decision-making. Studies show that people make 28% more consistent decisions when comparing similar items, and spaces organized by category tend to stay organized 2.3 times longer than those organized by location. This approach, popularized by various organizing experts, aligns with how our brains naturally categorize and process information, making it both more efficient and more sustainable long-term. 16. Don't let sentimentality override practicality. Neuroscience research has unveiled fascinating insights into how emotional attachment to objects activates the same brain regions as personal relationships. This biological response explains why letting go of sentimental items can feel physically painful for some people. However, excessive emotional attachment to possessions can lead to what psychologists call memory hoarding, keeping items not for their utility but as physical anchors to memories. Modern solutions, such as digital preservation of sentimental items, offer a practical compromise. Studies indicate that people who digitize sentimental items report 85% satisfaction with their decision after 6 months, suggesting that the emotional connection can be maintained without the physical burden. 17. Do consider the cost of storing unused items. Economic analysis of storage costs reveals surprising financial implications of keeping unused items. The average American household spends approximately $1,800 annually on storing items they rarely or never use, factoring in both direct and indirect costs. Urban planning research indicates that every square foot of storage space costs between $10 to $15 annually in climate control, maintenance, and real estate value. This creates what economists call a negative return on investment for most stored items, particularly when considering opportunity costs, the potential alternative uses of that space and resources. 18. Don't keep items just because they were expensive. Behavioral economists have identified the premium trap as a significant obstacle to effective decluttering. This psychological phenomenon, related to the endowment effect, causes people to overvalue items simply because they own them, particularly if they were expensive. Breaking this cycle requires understanding that keeping an expensive unused item is equivalent to maintaining a bad investment. The true cost continues to accumulate through storage expenses, lost opportunities, and mental energy spent maintaining the item. 19. Think about the last time you used each item. Time-based analysis provides one of the most objective measures for determining an item's value in our lives. Research indicates that items unused for over a year have an 80% chance of remaining unused indefinitely, creating what organizers call zombie clutter. This stagnant accumulation of unused items often represents deferred decisions and unrealized intentions. Professional organizers emphasize the importance of honest assessment in this area, noting that seasonal items and specialty equipment require different evaluation timeframes than daily use items. 20. Don't preserve things for a someday that never comes. Future-oriented hoarding affects approximately 65% of households according to organizational psychology studies. This behavior often stems from what economists call anticipatory utility, the imagined future benefit of possessions. Breaking this pattern requires understanding that most someday items represent aspirational rather than practical possibilities. Psychologists recommend applying temporal discounting, realistically evaluating the probability of future use against current costs in terms of space, maintenance, and mental energy. 21. Set a timer for focused decluttering sessions. The science of productivity and focus reveals fascinating insights into how timed sessions can dramatically improve decluttering efficiency. Research conducted by productivity experts has shown that working within structured time blocks increases focus by 35% and reduces decision fatigue. This approach, known as time boxing in productivity circles, creates what psychologists call a containment effect, where the defined time period helps contain anxiety and prevent overwhelm. Studies of successful organizing professionals show that the optimal focused decluttering session runs between 25 and 45 minutes, followed by a short break. This timing aligns with our natural attention cycles and cognitive rhythms. Professional organizers have observed that clients who implement timed sessions report feeling less overwhelmed and make more consistent progress than those who work without time boundaries. 22. don't work for more than 2 hours without a break. Cognitive research into sustained attention and decision making capacity provides compelling evidence for the importance of regular breaks during decluttering work. Studies conducted at major universities have demonstrated that after 2 hours of continuous decision making, the quality of our choices decreases by up to 45%. This decline directly impacts our ability to make sound judgments about what to keep, donate, or discard. The phenomenon termed decision depletion by psychologists manifests in increasingly arbitrary choices and growing frustration with the organizing process. Research indicates that taking a 15 to 20-minute break after every 2 hours of work helps restore cognitive function and emotional equilibrium, leading to better decision-making and more sustained energy throughout the decluttering process. 23. Do schedule regular maintenance sessions. Long-term studies of organized spaces reveal a critical pattern. Environments maintained through regular scheduled sessions stay organized 73% longer than those addressed only when problems arise. This preventive approach to organization draws parallels with preventive healthcare. Regular checkups prevent major issues from developing. Professional organizers recommend scheduling maintenance sessions at specific intervals based on space usage patterns. High-traffic areas like kitchens and entryways typically require weekly attention, while storage spaces might need only monthly or quarterly reviews. The psychological benefit of scheduled maintenance extends beyond physical organization. It creates what researchers call environmental mastery, a sense of control over one's space that contributes significantly to reduced stress levels and improved well-being. 24. Don't procrastinate on making decisions. The psychology of procrastination in decluttering reveals interesting patterns in how we delay decisions about our possessions. Research shows that decision procrastination creates a cumulative effect, where each delayed choice increases the likelihood of postponing future decisions. This pattern, termed decision debt by organizational psychologists, can lead to what experts call choice paralysis, a state where the accumulated weight of unmade decisions becomes overwhelming. Studies indicate that people who make immediate decisions about items, even if imperfect, report higher satisfaction with their organizing projects than those who defer choices. The key lies in understanding that perfect decisions aren't necessary. What organizational experts call the good enough principle often leads to better long-term results than seeking perfect solutions. 25. Do allocate time for sorting and organizing separately. Research in cognitive task management reveals that sorting and organizing engage different mental processes, making it more efficient to separate these activities. Professional organizers have found that clients who separate sorting from organizing complete projects 40% faster than those who attempt to do both simultaneously. This separation allows for what neuroscientists call task-specific focus, where the brain can fully engage with one type of activity without switching cognitive gears. The sorting phase involves decision-making and evaluation, while organizing requires spatial thinking and system creation. Understanding this distinction helps prevent the common pitfall of getting caught between decisions about items and decisions about their ultimate placement. Studies show that when these tasks are separated, people experience less mental fatigue and create more effective organizational systems. Through implementing all 25 principles outlined in this comprehensive guide, you can transform your approach to decluttering and create sustainable organizational systems that enhance your daily life. Remember that successful organization is not about perfection, but about creating functional systems that work with your natural habits and lifestyle patterns.